Most men over 40 are useless, and I don't say that to insult you. I say it because I used to be one of them. If you don't have those 3 traits, you're done. No one's coming to save you. Not your wife, not your boss, not your doctor. In this video, I'll break down exactly what those traits are and why 90% of men over 40 fail to develop them. Let me be brutally honest with you. Most men over 40 are not men. They're just older boys in bigger bodies. You've got a mortgage, maybe kids, a job title. But deep down, you know you let yourself go. Your body soften, your mind lazier. You get tired faster, complain more, and you're always waiting for the right time to start over. You tell yourself it's age, but it's not age. It's weakness. Somewhere along the way, you gave up on yourself. Slowly, you started negotiating with discipline. You stopped chasing growth. You started chasing comfort. You scroll your phone instead of fixing your routine. You make excuses instead of converting your pain. And maybe worst of all, you got used to it. Used to the extra fat. Used to the back pain. Used to the low energy. Used to watching others win while you play it safe. You're not broken. You're just stuck. But if you keep living like this, stuck become permanent. And here's what nobody tells you. After 40, it doesn't get easier. You don't get more motivated. You don't magically wake up and feel like changing. If you don't choose to level up now, you will end up like most men, grumpy, out of shape, depressed, and pretending that this is what getting older feel like. But it's not. Getting older is a privilege. Wasting it, that's on you. So before I give you these 3 traits, I want you to sit with this question. Are you living like the man who matters or just passing time until it's over? Because the traits I'm about to break down, they're not for everybody. They're for the few who still want to fight. The first trait is simple to understand, but almost no one has it. Discipline without emotion. And let me explain. Most men only show up when they feel like it, when they're motivated, when their conditions are perfect. But life after 40, your energy will dip, your joint will ache, your responsibility will pile up. If you only take action when you feel good, you fail. Discipline without emotion means you train when you're tired. You work when you are uninspired. You do what needs to be done. Not because you feel like it, but because you said you would. That's the difference between a man who builds something and a man who waits around hoping their fire come back. Think about the last 5 days of your life. How many of those days did you wake up and follow through regardless of how you felt? If the answer is 0, then this is the root of your weakness. Discipline without emotion is the foundation of a strong man. Because you're not a kid anymore. You can't live based on mood swings. You don't need more motivation. You need to be calm kind of man who moves without it. The man who laces up his shoes when it's cold outside. When he lifts, when he's sore. That kind of man become unstoppable. But that's the only part of the equation, because you can have all the discipline in the world, but if you hate the man in the mirror, none of it matters. That's where trait number 2 comes. And trust me, most men avoid this their entire life. So if you're still with me, trait number 2 will either elevate you or expose you. The second trait is what I call self-respect through fitness. Not a six-pack obsession, not gym ego. I'm talking about something deeper, something primal, because your body is the loudest proof of how much you respect yourself. Most men over 40 treat their body like a used car they're stuck with. They stop training, they stop stretching. They eat like trash and wonder why they feel depressed. But here's the brutal truth. You can't respect yourself if you don't respect your body. It's the one thing you carry everywhere. Your mind lives inside it. Your kid look up to it. Your future depend on it. You don't need to look like a bodybuilder. But if you can't move well, you're weak. If you're constantly tired, that's not aging. That's neglect. And neglect turns into shame. Every time you take your shirt off and look away from the mirror, every time you hop up a flight of stairs, every time you know you should have trained but didn't, your self-respect drops. Fitness is not just about muscle. It's about control, ownership. When you train constantly, when you feel your body like it matters, you start to walk different. You talk different. Stop apologizing for existing. You become a man other men notice. Fitness is a proof you still have standards. And if you're 40 plus and still making excuses, just know no one is coming to save you. This is your responsibility. Discipline and fitness are powerful, but without one final trait, you're just another high functional human being. The third trait is what separates men who change the world from men who just exist in it. The last one, the hardest to build. But if you get it, you'll never go back to being average again. The third and final trait is the one most men spend their entire life avoiding. Purpose over comfort. And I need you to hear this clearly. If you don't have a purpose that forces you to grow, you will naturally fall into comfort that slowly kills you. That's not poetry, that's biology. Comfort is seductive. You wake up, you scroll, you go to work, you eat the same garbage, you watch the same shows. You survive the week, and then what? You've built a routine, but not a mission. Men without a purpose lose their edge. And once the edge is gone, you're just a shell. You'll keep breathing, you'll keep existing, but you're not really alive. So what is the purpose? It's not some grand fantasy or perfect plan. It's direction. It's having something bigger than your cravings. For some men, it's being a father the son can look up to. For others, it's building a business, coaching, protecting, teaching, serving, something that demands their strength. But if your entire life revolves around avoiding discomfort, that's not purpose, that's retreat. Comfort is drug. And too many men are high on, waiting to die slowly while pretending they're living the dream. But when you find your purpose, everything changes. You stop chasing cheap dopamine. You start waking up with clarity. You stop asking, what should I do today? And you start telling the world, here's what I came to do. It's a man no one can ignore. Not his wife, not his kids, not even his enemies. So let me ask you this directly. What are you waking up for? What pulls you out of bed when everything hurts? If your answer is nothing, then you already know what to fix. Because without purpose, the other two traits fall apart. You want to have discipline. You won't care about fitness. You slowly become another man who had potential, but not direction. That's not who you're meant to be. You dig? This challenge is for a few men still willing, still have their fight in them. The world doesn't need more soft men. It needs more focused ones. Stay sharp, stay moving, stay up, and stay focused.